What up, everybody? I'm Jomo, and you locked in to Mohi TV. So, today, we got Reverend Paul Buck on the show with us today, better known around the city as Coach Buck. How you doing today, Coach Buck?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man.
That's good.
It's a pleasure to have you on the show. Thanks for inviting me in your beautiful home, man.
Hey, it's a pleasure that you asked me to come.
Man, I had to. So, for everybody who don't know, you let them know how you got started in the community and everything. How you got your passion?
Well, kids is my passion. You know, I've worked in elementary school, middle school, high school, Boys and Girls Club for the past 20 years.
Right.
Coaching basketball, you know, at different levels. And just committed to working with our young folks in the school. I had a mentoring program called Men Making Men, which I did at the middle, high school, and elementary level, and at the Boys and Girls Club. So that was my passion.
Helping kids. Okay.
Helping kids.
So, I mean, you know, the whole reason we did this interview, it has to be talked about. So, Hammond had the idea to combine Clark, Gavitt, and Hammond High all together. You know, create one school like along the lines of an EC, a Lake Central, like a powerhouse. You know, it was a good idea. Everybody was all for it. Hammond High even looked bad. You know, we had trees and vines growing out of it. It was a good idea. Everybody was for it. But when it became time to pick a name, that's when the problem came. Man. We had the mayor said that it was a vote.
Not the mayor, the superintendent.
The superintendent. They voted on the school name to be Hammond Central.
Correct.
Which left a lot of alumni like myself and, you know, maybe people like you in the community like, why are we changing it from Hammond High and it's still on the grounds of Hammond High? So basically, I brought you on the show to just explain this to everyone. Was that legal for Hammond High? Or I mean, from the city of Hammond to change that name from Hammond High to Hammond Central?
No. It was illegal. They broke the rules. The rules said the school must be named by the residents in the community in which the school is built in. The superintendent took it up on himself.
Who is what's the name of the superintendent?
Scott Miller.
Scott Miller, okay.
During the COVID, when we couldn't go in to meetings and everything was done through the internet and all of that stuff, you know, you couldn't really speak because you could type in what you wanted to type in, but he wouldn't read but what he wanted to be read. He wasn't reading anything that was going to be critical of the situation. And so he brought some guy in from somewhere, had nothing to do with Hammond, I think it was Denver or something like that, to ask his opinion what the school should be named. Why would you go outside? And the law strictly says the school should be named by the residents in which the community was built. The school was built in the 3rd District community. Those are the only people that should have had any say about what the name of that school was going to be.
So for those people in Hammond who don't know what the 3rd District is, could you name some of those areas, those popular streets and communities that's part of the 3rd District?
The 3rd District runs from about 165th, a little bit into Hanceville area, back to State Line and to the railroad tracks here on Columbia and Sherman. It's a large district, large voting base, and what happened was the superintendent took upon himself to say, well, we're going to survey the whole city. The law says the community in which it was built in. It didn't say the whole city.
Right.
Then he comes back and says, we're going to name it Hammond Central because that's what it was voted to be.
And who saw this vote? Who?
No one. He never
was
showed
the vote held?
vote.
You know?
The vote was asked to be seen at the school board meeting. No one ever saw the vote but him.
So you guys asked for the. I mean, I wasn't around, and I do feel bad that I wasn't around to vote, but you guys asked to see the vote. And,
let us see the vote.
Okay. It happened so fast that it was like Hammond Central, and it was dipped.
It was crooked.
It was crooked.
Now he says Morton also.
Scott
Miller also said that Morton was voted to be changed, but by it being such a close race, till they wouldn't change the name of Morton. That don't make sense.
Right.
If you win, you only got to win by one.
Yeah.
If you win by one, then it changes.
Change name, yeah.
But what happened was, the fact of the matter, I believe, is that the people up north didn't want their children going to this so-called black school in the black area. So we must change the name. You know, and then they came in, and I mentioned at the school board meeting, you didn't change the name when you can buy Hammond High Tech.
Yeah.
You ain't changed the name then.
That's before my time, man.
Why you got to change the name now? Because the people up north don't want their kids to go to this so-called black school.
Yeah.
And so you changed the name.
It was one of the reasons that they said about changing the name, because you shut Clark down, you shut Gavitt down.
Right.
Essentially, they figured you shut Hammond High down, and you building this Hammond Central.
Now
this is making everybody happy, they believe, right?
That's what they believed.
Okay.
You know, but we did need a new high school.
We needed a new high school.
I voted
like
for
I said,
the referendum.
The vines was growing in it.
Well, the school was over 100 years old.
Yeah, looked at that.
And it cost over $2 million a year for the upkeep. So at that point,
you said it cost $2 million a year for Hammond High.
Because if something breaks, you have to go somewhere and get it specially made, because that boiler, where else can you get a boiler piece that's 100 years old?
Yeah.
So, you know, it was costing money to keep the school up. And so I understood.
It was cold in some of them classrooms.
So you went there, you know it was cold in some of them classrooms.
When you think about it was getting cold in some of them classrooms.
I was in there, I was cold. I wanted to put my hat on a couple days.
Yeah, they was probably like, man, the heck with it. We finna build a new school.
We needed a new school.
Yeah. So, I mean, so you say it was illegal for them to change that?
Yes.
Just
he
illegal.
done it wrong. He done it wrong. Scott Miller, he done it wrong. Know it was wrong. And then when he came and asked me about it one day, and I told him about it, I said he was wrong. He said, well, I thought the whole city was the community. I said, quit telling that lie. You ain't thought that. You did what you wanted to do because you was behind that camera.
Yeah.
And the people couldn't voice their opinion because of the COVID. You know, couldn't have no closed meetings like that. I said, so you did what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
I said, and you know why you did it.
Yeah.
I said, it was a racial thing to me. That was my opinion of it. You know, and I'm not a racist person. And especially when it comes to my kids, you know, I work with them all. If you right, you right. If you wrong, I'm going to check you.
Yeah.
You know, but I just hate to see the politics get into our kids' education.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's there. Let's make the best of it. You know, it is what it is. But my problem was them stealing our history. Wildcats.
Wildcats.
You know, they stole the history.
Now we will. It don't even feel right saying, like, I was making a video for Hammond not too long ago, and I'm writing Hammond Wolves, Hammond Central. It didn't even feel right. I want to put Hammond High so bad. I want to, put Wildcats.
I still call it Hammond High.
Yeah, you do, but you know, when you want to be correct,
it's
not.
It's not. It's Hammond Central.
So,
and I had a problem.
Okay.
You know, the Minister Alliance.
The Minister Alliance. That's what I want
says,
to
you know,
I can't remember their name.
They're representing our community.
So for those who don't know what's going on, who is the Minister?
The Minister Alliance is a conglomerate of ministers in the community, in the vicinity of the community, that comes together and supposedly speak for the community. Well, they don't speak for me because they wrong and they know they're wrong.
Yeah.
All the racism going on at that school board, the Minister Alliance have not stepped up one time to say anything. But I thought you were fighting for our people in our community.
Yeah.
Not one time had they stood up there and spoken. I'm at just about all the school board meetings.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, you're gonna let them steal our history? And you're not gonna, y'all should have been having church up in there at them school board meetings. Because numbers is power. If you'd have brought all the blacks that go to your church up into that school board meeting, it would have scared them to death.
Yeah.
Like, hold on. We got to do this right.
Yeah.
See, and also, with that many people, it's a voting base. And wait a minute, look at all these votes. Nah, other people would have got involved. Like, wait a minute. If this whole area is going against you and we don't say something, come election, we're not going to get their support.
At all.
So,
people smart.
They, and I believe, in my opinion, the Minister Alliance is getting their coffers filled by certain entities of the city and are told to stand down and be quiet or we will not continue to fill your coffers.
Yeah. Because you said, I mean, off the record, you told me that they were kind of, they disappeared when it was Black Lives Matter, back when they was marching and everything. And they was macing the kids and everything.
The kids were marching
down
Calumet. And the police were stopping them at 171st. Mm-hmm. They said, well, we didn't want them to go on to 94 Expressway. That's a lie. They didn't want them to go over that, and I call it the Edmund Pettis Bridge of Hammond. They didn't want them to cross over that bridge and go into that white community monster.
Yeah, so they cut it off.
Exactly, because they could have stood right there.
Close to what Dunkin' Donuts at, right?
Yeah.
They cut it off.
They could have been right there at where you enter 94 and stopped that. They wasn't going to let them blacks go over that bridge for nothing. They was pushing the kids, spraying the kids. Where's the Minister Alliance? They didn't say not one word about our black kids being misused like that. Not one word.
That's
2
crazy.
weeks later.
This is what they getting funded
because
for.
Their name is on a march. They marched down Calumet. But before the march, they standing with all the oppressors photo opping.
Yeah.
Photo op. You photo opping with the oppressors.
But the ops, they like to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and every time I see the Minister Alliance come out, it's a photo op. Mm-hmm. It's nothing like they're doing anything for the community. They're not standing up for the community. They're not fighting for the community. It's a photo op.
So you say Hammond is bigger than what we think. It's about politics in Hammond.
It is.
I mean, that's in most cities.
That's in most cities. It's politics.
But a lot of people, I feel like in Hammond, it's
and if I'm buttering your bread, you better shut up if you want to keep getting this butter.
Man, that's a whole nother story. I already know.
But Hammond Central, and I felt that they were going to have problems for the first 3 or 4 years.
The first week.
And first week, gun in the school.
Yeah.
You know, the gun was outside the school, fired into the school.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I have other people to tell me that there's guns in the school all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, they say, well, they got this metal detector. They say, yeah, but some doors don't have them and don't have cameras in that area, and they bring in what they want to bring in.
So when you look at Lake Central, you know, it got built what? Less than 10 years ago, maybe less than 5 years ago, right?
It's
new. It's huge. So you see that it has a baseball field, football field, softball field. You look at Hammond Central that just got built. We don't have a football. I mean, we got a football field, just got built. We don't have a baseball or a softball field.
No.
Was that in the budget, you think?
But it was supposed to be.
So was those funds
We paid
misappropriated?
$110 million for that school.
Mm-hmm.
We got cheated. The gym is so small.
Yeah.
I mean, $110 million, you should have had a gym large enough to hold the regionals.
It's nothing special about that.
Or
gym
state.
At all. It's nothing
Nothing.
special.
Nothing. I'm like, and this is what we get for our money?
The old gym had more.
The old gym was huge.
Yeah, it had more. Hammond High field to
Yes.
a little more.
You could have at least had a sectional
Yeah.
in the old Hammond High.
Yeah.
Now,
it's not now.
at the Central, you can give a bitty ball tournament. I mean, that's about the size of it.
Yeah.
I mean, we got cheated.
I really do going to that gym feel like we got cheated, man.
We did.
Yeah.
No baseball field. And where they put the football field at, if I was the people living there, that football field would have never got off the ground. How do you put a football field right back to somebody's house?
Yeah.
Those people have a right to live in peace. Most of them are older people. They going to bed by the time football games start.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of them sickly. They don't want to hear all that noise all night at a football game. I remember the mayor closing, taking the basketball courts out of Harrison Park because he said the neighbors was complaining and they signed a petition
That was something crazy.
to remove them because it was too loud. You talking 20, 25 kids at best playing basketball in the middle of a park.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to let this be okay to build a football stadium and back up people's houses? But they signed a petition for it not to be there.
They did?
Yes.
Wow.
But they put it there anyway. See, and this...
Because they didn't build it right away. They took some time, like they opened the school, then they took some time to build it.
The original plan was...
so it must have been something going on to stop them from building it right away.
The original plan was to straighten out Soul Street because Soul Street turns and curves around Hammond High where the old baseball field was.
Not Soul, but yeah.
Soul Street, yeah. So what they were going to do
that's Soul.
was straighten Soul Street, put the football field there. They was basically moving everything over. You know, where the school was at, they tore it down. Where the parking lot and football field is, they put a school. The parking lot is on the front now, and they was going to put the football field on the back. They scrapped that. And they put the football field in back of Civic Center. And you know, I just disagree with that. If I was those people, I'd file a lawsuit. Because they have a right to live in peace.
Yeah.
Buy us out
See this,
or shut that football field down.
File a lawsuit, they see this.
Well, my opinion, and I've talked to some of the residents.
I mean, because we know one of them that live over there. We'll say their name, but
I know several of them.
Yeah.
I know basically all of them.
Right.
And my opinion is call the police. Every time they have a football game, call the police. Because it's a noise ordinance.
Yeah.
And I would actually make it a racial thing. I really would. Because I would say, wait a minute. If I call the police on my black neighbor for being too loud, you're going to shut him down or arrest him. I want to see what you're going to do to this white organization that's being too loud. Now, if the police don't shut that down, then I need to file a lawsuit against the city of Hammond, the police department, and the school city of Hammond. Those people got to get together and go find them a lawyer. Buy us out or shut that football field down.
Yeah.
Because they have soccer games there, football games there. All that noise going on and these elderly sick people are trying to rest.
Yeah.
Come on, man. You know, that's just not right.
So have you reached out to anybody in City Hall or the mayor's office about any of this?
Too many times.
Too many times.
Yeah, they don't care.
What they say when you go there? Like they just here come Buck.
That's basically what they say.
Here come Buck.
Here come Buck. Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Even when they was tearing down the old Hammond High,
Yeah.
I called environmental thing about the asbestos.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to assure us that it wasn't no asbestos in there. Come back later, found it was asbestos in there.
From them doing construction. Yeah.
The city council voted to have our environmental specialists go over and and test it. The mayor wouldn't sign off on it. Nope. How can you not sign off on it and you've been told that there's asbestos, but you won't send your personnel over there to check it to keep the community safe?
Yeah.
Asbestos getting your lungs, you dead.
That's what I'm saying. It's in the air. Like you let them. How did you know that?
What?
Did you have how did you know that?
The school's 100 years old. It's full of asbestos. That's what they used there.
Man, that's probably why we like how we is, man. Going to that school already.
Man, that school city be so upset with me.
Yeah.
I was on them about Lafayette School, testing the water. I called the governor's office, the state office. This water is contaminated. And they got these kids in their school drinking and cooking their food in contaminated water. Now the state would test the water for free. The school city of Hammond chose to hire someone to test the water.
It's a lot of that going on in Hammond, like hire someone, like with this Purdue Northwest and that construction. Those companies, I mean, I had a teacher at Purdue that told me about those contracts, how certain people get certain contracts, big contracts in this city.
Sure.
And I found it, this off topic, but I found it funny that CEO of, what is that roofing company, Corellis, he retired right after this Hammond High contract.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big contract.
Okay.
He got out of there after that.
Well, the company is still going.
Yeah, the company. I'm saying him as a.
Oh,
yeah, he stepped down. Yeah.
Okay, probably got enough. You know, a lot of these things, and I can't say for sure because I wasn't there, so I can't state it as a fact. But I believe with just common sense, and I've been around a minute, there's a lot of kickback in that.
That's what I was getting at.
Sure.
Cause he was a guy, along the lines, he'd been in Hammond for a while, and he was just saying like how, the mayor basically got like family members who got construction companies or know people with construction, they get all the projects.
Sure.
Would you say that's going on?
Yes. I mean, that's been going on since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
Me and you partners, I'm going to look out for you. Just look out for me on the back end.
A lot of people don't know that though, A lot of people don't know that's what's going on. A lot of people will start a construction company and wonder why they can't get contracts.
You know what? They know. They just can't speak on it.
Yeah.
They can't speak.
They can only get the scraps.
Right, because if you say something, now you know you're not going to get a chance to get it. Let me show you what happened with this school. So the company they hired come in and say, all the water in the school bad, except in the cafeteria. I told him, man, go sit down and quit lying. I said, how you going to be a little bit pregnant? All this water coming through one pipe, how is all of it bad all over the building except in the cafeteria?
Yeah.
Because if it's bad in that cafeteria, you got to shut that school down. They've been cooking them kids food in contaminated water. When the state came in and said Hammond and East Chicago could no longer opt out of the state testing the water, they immediately shut the school down and packed Maywood with all them kids. I'm like, oh, so now y'all can't lie. You don't want to get caught in that lie. Mm-hmm. They shut the schools down. Shut down Columbia.
I didn't even hear about Lafayette shutting down.
Yes, they hurry up and did that. Was like, quick. Let's do this overnight. So they, it's just so much in Hammond that, and I'm the person that go to the meetings that ask the questions that everybody want to answer to but afraid to ask.
Yeah.
But like I tell them, I don't worry about man. I'm protected by God. I don't care what man say or man do. God didn't tell me to depend on man.
Exactly.
He said take all my cares to him. So man can't hurt me. You ain't got to like what I say, but you can't stop me from saying it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so they get upset with me because I take them to the Bible real quick. And they don't want to go to the Bible. The ministers don't want to go to the Bible, not when they know they're wrong. Man, you know you wrong. I told them, I say, all y'all ministers, and so I'm going to say this, but I know you already know. If you doing what I think you doing, you know you're going to pay for it.
Just like that.
I already know you're going to pay for it.
Just like that.
Yes. So I'm the troublemaker.
That's what I was getting at. That bring me to my next point. That's what I was saying. Like, you cause all the trouble in the city. So have anybody ever, like, did anything malicious or reached out to try to silence you or, like, you know, break a car window, break a window?
No.
Nothing crazy like that?
I haven't had that problem. Thank God I haven't, because I don't want to go back to the person I used to be. You know?
I'm like, it's a real thing though. You know, they just like pick which may break a window while you gone. I want to end it up.
Yeah, I don't want to go back full capacity right now, but I see myself somewhere in the future working again with youth, but I would like to focus on getting an organization together, Youth for Change.
Youth for Change.
Yeah. That meaning you guys, your age, and stuff, the voting age, you know, the younger generation, to bring you all together, because like I was telling you when you were in school, you all are going to change this world. I'm about to go back, sit in my rocking chair, and do nothing. I just don't want y'all to mess with Social Security. But,
man, they done gave y'all the increase.
But you all are going to be the ones that's coming up. That's going to be the mayors, the congressmen, the superintendents, the presidents, the senators. It's your turn. So I want to bring the young people together and let them know you have to stick together if you're going to make changes. And I see what's going on is the younger people don't have a problem with each other. It's the old heads that keep spewing that mess at our young people. You know, the years I was in the school, it wasn't no black-white thing.
Yeah.
You know, if they got into it, a fight or something, it's because you diss me. It wasn't about you white, you black. It was never about that.
Sometimes at Hammond High it was though.
Very rarely though.
Yeah, rarely.
Very rarely.
Yeah.
But most of the time it's because you disrespected somebody.
Yeah.
You know, because you have interracial dating all across the world now. So they're not looking at each other, color of their skin.
Yeah.
You know, they're more looking at how you treat me, we get along, we cool and everything. So it's not a race thing with our young people like it was back in the day. And if the old heads quit spewing that to their kids and grandkids, it'll be a better place to live. Because these young folk get along fine, listen to the same music, go to the same parties, wear the same clothes, everything. Ride, hang out together, and race don't have anything to do with it.
Yeah.
So that's why I would like to bring them together in unity. Black, white, Hispanic, in there, doesn't matter. And let's get something going for you guys' future. Because you have to build your own future.
Yeah.
So what you gonna make it look like?
You know what, Coach Buck? In this day and age, people on social media and they waiting on something to fall from the sky. Don't nobody want to get out there and put the work in no more.
You know what I tell them?
What's that?
I said the difference between school and life. In school, the teacher give you a lesson, then you take a test.
Yeah.
In life gonna give you a test, then you gonna learn a lesson.
For sure.
So you better get it together now.
And
you don't want to learn that hard lesson. You don't want to learn that hard lesson.
Life will put the belt on you real quick.
Shoot, you better get out there and use what you have in a positive manner to get what you want. It's out there for you.
I'm going to say growing up, I really learned that they gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Like, I'm learning to listen more, humbling myself as you get older. You really have to listen, and like throughout this whole interview, I've just been really listening. A lot of people don't listen no more, I feel like, and you can't learn if you already closed minded.
Right.
I feel like you can learn something from anybody. You can learn something from a homeless person, a baby, a homeless person. Know what not to do. You know what I'm saying? And babies, you know what I'm saying with babies, they so new to the world, they doing something like you be looking like I never thought about to do it like that.
Yeah.
Because they don't know what to do. Yeah. So you can learn something from anybody, man.
I remember listening to Steve Harvey one morning, and I was telling the kids in class when they tell me about, oh man, this stuff hard, man. And Steve Harvey spoke that morning. Steve Harvey said, if you think school hard, try to live poor. See which one the hardest. You better get your education.
Living poor ain't no joke.
Living poor, that's hard.
I feel like that's why my generation, especially, like, they lived the life they lived because we grew up so rough and so tight. Everything was so tight. So when you finally got something, it was like, man, let me get everything I want. Let me go to the mall. Buy everything I couldn't get. Because I remember growing up, me and my sister had to get the, like, 2 for $70 on the Reeboks and Pumas and stuff like from Foot Locker. You know, stuff like that, the fake albums.
Man, I got the 2 for $5 Big Ben shoes, man, when I was coming up.
The 2 for
shoes, what you mean?
Yeah.
Get 2 shoes for $5, man, shoes. Man, you couldn't tell me nothing when I got them shoes. Man, I thought I was the man.
No, you was working the soul out them shoes.
Shoes, man, go to Zayre's. Man, go shopping at Zayre's, put your clothes on layaway. Man, shoot, you talking about $70.
We grew up off layaway. That's why we don't want to do no more. That's why everybody probably cash out these days. You know, you see so much ownership these days.
Well, what it does,
because you just saw them lessons of.
It teaches you lessons.
Yeah.
It teaches you where you were and where God has brought you, and He'll take you further if you just pay attention and be obedient. Oh, you know, you got something that was born with a silver spoon. But the majority of us wasn't.
Right.
And we learned lessons young. So we appreciate what we have now. These kids today, they're not appreciative of anything because everything has been given to them.
Given to them. They ain't got to work for nothing.
Mother and father, I don't want my kids to grow up the way I did. Why not? Just teaching them how to work, teaching them respect, teaching them responsibility, teaching them consequences for their actions. Why wouldn't you want your kid to grow up like this?
Yeah.
And what happens...
And it shows. It shows the parents who, kids don't.
Once they get 18 and they go out into the real world and they find out ain't nobody going to give them nothing, they don't know how to make it. They lost. Because everything been given... I didn't have to earn anything. What am I going to do now?
Yeah. They can't save $1 to save. They can't save $1.
Well, blacks are too materialistic, for one.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got to have whatever the new trend is. We got to have it.
But you can have it, because all you got to do is live your life based upon, if I can't buy this 2 or 3 times and still be okay, I don't need it. See, that's the way I live. But I'm old school, I guess, because...
No, you have some wisdom.
Yeah, I guess.
They get the first 50 in their pocket, they going to spend it.
I got to get 350 so I can spend my first 50.
Exactly.
That's just me.
And that's the way it should be.
Because, now, especially more than ever, because I got a son now, so I got to think about him. Yeah. He got to eat.
Oh, yeah.
So now it's almost like I got to make it like 3, 4 or 5 times before I feel like I can spend it nowadays.
My kids asking me.
That's how
they said, Dad.
That's how you're supposed to be with their money, though.
Now, why didn't you get the downstairs redid and fixed up while we was all here? Put an extra bathroom in and stuff. And I told him, I said, because I had kids that was addicts. I said, what you mean addicts? Y'all was addicted to eating, wearing nice clothes, going to school, having a nice car to ride in. I said, y'all was addicts. I had to take care of y'all addiction. Now that y'all grown and gone, I got to spare money.
Now I can dump it to the house.
They said, Daddy, we ain't going to know when you get Alzheimer's because you talk so stupid now. But like you said, you have a family now.
Yeah, you got to live different,
a lot of things going to change.
Yeah.
Yes.
You up your security. You don't do stupid stuff.
Right. Got too much to lose.
You know what I'm saying? You think ahead nowadays. Well, at least me personally, I think ahead nowadays.
Yeah, you have to because you have too much to lose now.
Yeah, one bad roll of the dice.
Yeah. Most people that be in mess, not all, but most of them don't have anything to lose.
None to lose.
No.
They out here living willy-nilly.
You catch that kid in school that always want to start a fight with somebody. He ain't got nothing to lose if he get thrown out. He ain't passing none of his classes no damn way. So only class he passing is lunch. He ain't passing gym. He don't know how to play.
So what you think about them passing this gun law for the legalized, the concealed carry, basically?
Indiana.
Yeah, I mean, it was already, had your permit, but now it's like you don't need a permit.
I'm in between that.
That's what I say. I feel like everybody need a gun, but it should be a little barrier to getting it.
Well,
to carry.
Well, to me, the Constitution, the original Constitution said a man has a right to bear arms.
Yeah, I'm saying you should be like 21, not 18. 18? When I was 18?
If you say 18, do you consider a person 18 a man?
Probably, nah, I wasn't a man.
By law.
By law, but I'm talking about by brain.
Well, actually, I'm going to take that back. By law, a young lady is an adult at 18.
Mm-hmm.
A man is not a man until he's 21.
Because I'm going to say, when I was about 21, 23, that's when I started really understanding life.
Mm-hmm.
I was
took a couple
early. Yeah, I was going through it early. So I would say, you don't need no gun at 18. Because the first time somebody make you mad,
because you're hot-headed still.
So I would say 21 or maybe even change to 25.
Yeah. I mean,
what's the rush?
I don't think every young man should be walking around here with a gun.
Yeah, what's the rush?
I just disagree.
I feel like when you're 25, you either go be looking in the direction of starting your family, getting you a home, having you a nice car, things you want to protect.
Yeah.
Things you don't want somebody to come take. So therefore, at like 25,
and most of the time, people that carry a gun, a lot of them, now not the older mature people, a lot of young guys, they look for trouble. They look for a reason to pull it out. So I mean, they online with it. They online with it like, it's me. and it's legal in Indiana to do that. I don't. I'm tossed because I feel like you should have a right to bear arms, but then on the other side, look at their records, and they can have 1,000 misdemeanors, but as long as they don't have a felony, they can have a gun.
See, two things. I'm gonna say, the felonies, they say that, but they don't mean that. You know what I mean? Like, if you got too many misdemeanors applying for a job, they asking you off the list.
Yeah, you're a troublemaker. I wouldn't bring you in my company.
So what is the point of saying misdemeanors? I'm gonna say one too many. If you got 2 misdemeanors, you X'd off.
No, I wouldn't.
That's you wouldn't. You wouldn't. But I'm saying these companies because you're a troublemaker. Look what you said.
Though. I don't think the company. When I say too many, I'm talking about 10, 12.
Nah,
I'm talking about no 1 or 2.
Now nobody really be having that because after 10 years, I mean, you got that. I mean, you probably locked up by now. Like,
you started early.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say after like 5 or 7 years, 7 years, you a sponge. You're like, I don't want to show up no more. Not unless the FBI, the police department running yours.
Yeah.
But a regular job, you want to show up. So I don't know. I just feel like That's because they lie about that felony.
You have to consider when you say that misdemeanor. At what age was this person?
And the violence.
The violence of it. If he was young when he did it, he's an adult now.
Mm-hmm.
I figure he's even grown. Give him a chance. Give him an opportunity.
So that little boy who came to Hammond High with that gun,
well,
did what he did.
Well,
charge him as an adult or charge him as a child?
Basically, I don't think anything has become of it yet.
You haven't even, not even found the person.
Yeah, they know who did it.
Oh, but he locked up?
No. He go to Hammond High.
Because guns legal.
He back in school.
He's a handle expulsion.
And he was under, he was underage to have a weapon anyway.
Yeah.
But somehow the school handled it. Instead of the police department. So no one.
Well, I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Yeah.
For once. You know what I mean? For once. Because they would have probably cooked him.
Yeah, they would have.
In the judicial system, like they probably would have cooked
They
him.
would have.
He probably got lost in that.
Yeah.
Give him 20. Watch out. Give him 20
Yeah.
years. Watch out. Go ahead.
See you later,
Next
bye.
case. Yeah,
Next case.
Yeah. So he probably
Yeah.
would have got lost in that. That's good.
Yeah, so the school handled it instead of law enforcement.
Man, Coach Buck.
They did arrest him.
Who, him?
They arrested him.
I was gonna say, man, it really changed in Hammond from when I was a short. It's a lot more accessible for the drugs and the guns.
You know, I had a young lady. I was at the club the other day. Mr. Buck, come back. Things ain't the same. It's different. I told her, you have to get used to change.
Yeah.
I said, everything's going to change. I said, in the next 5 years, life's going to change. I said, you adjust to your change. I said, me coming back here is not going to change how this system is running.
Mm-hmm.
I said, you have to adjust to change. I said, as you grow old, you're going to have to adjust again. You're going to have to adjust again. I said, so don't worry about it not being the same. If everything stayed the same, no one would grow.
Yeah.
So some change has to come.
Change, man.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure, man.
Yeah, let's talk about some good stuff. Some getting the youth together.
Getting the youth together.
Yeah, that's what we need. We need, listen, men, all y'all out there that want to help the kids, let's get together and start a mentoring organization and pull in our youth. I don't care where you live at. If there's men in your city, grab those men and say, let's help build our youth. We're tired of sending them to the graveyard, to the prison. Let's send our children to a brighter future. That's what I want to see done. And we as black men can do it.
For sure.
Because I don't know a stronger man on this earth than a black man.
Y'all know that, man.
Let's get our youth and pull them up so they can be successful in life.
And thank y'all for tuning in to Mohe TV, man. We out.